Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the News at 10 live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Federal Minister of Health confirms first case of coronavirus in Nigeria, asks Nigerians to step up hygiene level to prevent spread of COVID-19. Lagos State government pledges adequate preparedness to prevent spread of disease as it begins contact tracing of suspected cases. Ogun State Governor announces shutdown of company where first case of coronavirus worked, says 28 persons who made contact with him have been identified. And World Health Organization upgrades coronavirus risk to highest level and says containment of disease still possible. Further ahead is business sports news from Abuja, the FCT, and later international news from our London studios. Our website, channelstv.com, has more information on our top stories and others. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire, and Roku TV. Also on the coronavirus outbreak, cement manufacturer Lafarge Africa plc has announced that it has identified all those that had direct contact with the first coronavirus case in Nigeria on its premises. The group's spokesperson, Folashade Ambrose Madebem, says in a statement that it has succeeded in tracing all individuals who came in direct contact with the Italian man after his visit to the company's plant in Iwekoro, Ogun State. The company also added that it has initiated isolation, quarantine and disinfection protocol and will be willing to work in close partnership with the international and all local authorities. Staying with the first identified COVID-19 case, a section of Lagos residents, they're asking the government to be proactive and ensure the index case of coronavirus is effectively contained. Our correspondent Loretta Chiogo has more.
No cause for alarm. Those are the words of the Lagos State government. But how are these words taken on the streets, especially as it has been confirmed that a case of the coronavirus is lying here in the center of excellence? Berger area of the state witnesses hundreds of commuters daily. There is no escaping body contact.
All we need to do now as Nigerians are to get our materials ready in case they are unable to contain it, so that we will not get infected. So I'm prepared. As soon as I get home today, I'm going to get my mouth cover, get sanitizer, then instruct my children to always wash their hands, maybe every 15 minutes if they can. And if they can't, whenever they get home, the first thing is to go to the bathroom, take a thorough bath, and then we continue like that. We just hope it doesn't spread.
I want to take it as a source of encouragement to the people for us not to fear about epidemic of coronavirus. And I want to believe that Nigerians should have trust in our governments, that they are actually doing something towards the menace of coronavirus.
In taking precaution, like any other person, I walk into a store to get a bottle of sanitizer. Do you have hand sanitizer? Can I have one? But this shelf is near empty of the product. I get myself one, but another buyer is not lucky enough.
We came in here and we've visited a lot of supermarkets, but unfortunately, what do you call it? The sanitizer. The sanitizers have disappeared from the shops. I must tell you, everybody is afraid because on the level of preparedness, with the level of laboratories and medical infrastructure we have here, our lives in the hands of God.
The more the sensitization on COVID-19, the safer for the people, the city, and the nation. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
In the wake of the discovery of the first coronavirus case in Nigeria, the Minister of Information, Mr. Lai Mohammed, is asking Nigerians not to fall prey to what he describes as the antics of purveyors of fake news and disinformation. The minister, who made this call at a news briefing in Abuja, also revealed that social networking site Facebook has pledged to partner with the federal government to check the spread of fake news and disinformation on the outbreak of COVID-19 in Nigeria. According to him, following the confirmation of the disease in the country, carriers of fake news will scale up their act to spread disinformation and create panic. A statement from the minister's office quotes him as saying, "Fortunately, Facebook is working with us in this regard. They have asked Nigerians to report any false or misleading reports on Facebook and Instagram pages so they can immediately bring them down. They have also assured us that they are taking preemptive action to remove any false or harmful messages about this epidemic and public health in Nigeria." The minister adds that all that Nigerians are required to do is to flag any false or misleading reports on the epidemic, and Facebook will remove it. We'll bring you more on the coronavirus spread in Nigeria, but let's head over to our Abuja studios where Mark Ogun Yusuf has some more stories. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Millicent. We begin with some more health stories here, but away from COVID-19. A United Nations delegation on non-communicable diseases and tuberculosis has applauded the federal government's efforts in reaching set goals. Members of the delegation, accompanied by the Minister of Health, paid a courtesy call on Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in Abuja, where they commended the government for supporting the advancement of primary health care delivery on non-communicable diseases and tuberculosis. The high-power delegation has been in the country for 5 days, but the minister said categorically that COVID-19 was not discussed at the meeting.
We've had a very exciting time learning and trying to assess how we can better support the Ministry of Health and all ministries and agencies of the government at federal level and state level to help support the advancement of primary health care in order to reach the bold targets we have for for non-communicable diseases and tuberculosis. The country set bold targets, and I think the UN community, all of us here from various agencies in the UN, are here to try to support the best ways we can see the government moving on its initiatives and expanding access and awareness. I think we'll be continuing what all of our agencies have been doing, but in a much more intensive collaborative way. I think we've learned across the agencies that we each have our comparative advantages, whether it's serving vulnerable populations, whether it's providing normative help, whether it's supporting financing or supporting particular initiatives such as against cancer or nutrition or tuberculosis.
And governments at all levels have been reminded to address some of the challenges militating against women's participation in the nation's political and electoral process, in line with the affirmative action of the 1995 Beijing Declaration. The call is coming from the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Mr. Anthony Ojukwu, while speaking at a colloquium in Abuja. The NHRC boss notes that 25 years after the Beijing Declaration, the lot of the Nigerian woman is yet to improve.
In order to appreciate the journey so far, it's important to mention that prior to the Beijing conference and the adoption of the declaration, issues on the rights of women and girl child were quite appalling. This included lack of quality education, healthcare, poverty, violence, discrimination against women, and all the rest. While we have made appreciable gains in advancing the rights of women in certain areas, we've also regressed in other areas. For instance, the number of women involved in political, democratic, and decision-making process in Nigeria has continued to dwindle in the last decade. After the 2007 general elections in Nigeria, we had an upsurge in the number of women representatives in the National Assembly, which stood at 7%, and 8.3% in the House of Reps and the Senate, respectively. Today, in 2020, the percentage has spiraled down to 3.1% in the House of Representatives and 6.5% in the Senate. This is not encouraging, compared to the progress being made in other African countries like Rwanda, Ghana, Kenya, and Liberia.
And to a bit of politics, a civil society group under the umbrella of Friends of Oshomole is calling on persons dissatisfied with the leadership of the All Progressives Congress national chairman not to derail the party in their quest to remove him. After a peaceful protest at the headquarters of the party, the spokesperson of the group said all those calling for the removal of Mr. Adams Oshomole are only interested in their personal ambition of clinching power come 2023. The group insists that Mr. Oshomole is doing well and only needs the support of all loyal party members to do more.
We thank God we got this chairman on board to lead this very political party at the time that the party was facing a very big stress, where we're thinking if we go into the 2019 election, we will lose to the PDP. But when we brought this man on board, with his doggedness and his straightforwardness for this very party, because he has a passion for this very party, we believe we'll go somewhere, and we went somewhere. And today we've taken the presidential seat and many other states, governor today. If today you are hearing they say some persons are saying they want him removed, I don't know why they want him removed. Why? Is it because you are fighting for 2023 that is not even yet around the corner? This is just 7 months into this very second term of the president. I don't know why they are shouting. If you want 2023, wait till 2022. You will see us there. If we want you, we will give you. If we don't want you, we will tell you no. So I don't see the reason why they are fighting the chairman at this junction.
And that's all from Abuja. It's back to you, Millicent.
All right, many thanks, Mark. When the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves drops to $36.33 billion amid falling oil prices. A central bank maintains support for the naira through its weekly dollar interventions. That's on Business News. Please join us again.